Welcome to this week's Flippinar on wholesaling houses without using your own cash or credit question and answering. I have Adrian with us this week. We're live on Instagram. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So again, everyone, welcome aboard. We'll take your questions immediately. This is where you can get your questions answered on wholesaling houses, mainly just real estate in general, but mainly houses. I think my feed is interrupted here on Facebook. Let me make sure. We're live. But yeah, we're good. So again, welcome aboard everyone on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. We're live on each wholesaling houses where your income and credit won't matter. You use techniques to make money instead of using money to make money. You don't need money to buy the houses. So if you will, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, just announce where you're located. Say hello to everyone, and we'll get started here as soon as you all start feeding questions. Oh, I forgot to do one thing here. Forgot to we're live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I forgot to do my links. Give me just a second, guys. But yeah, we're live. So you can start loading your questions. We have some technical difficulties. So we're going to try to work through them. We still wanted to come to you guys live and in person. Again, Adrian is with me. Again, we have some technical issues. So we still want to try to put this on. So if you all will bear with us, we're going to make this happen. So hello, Instagram. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Wholesaling houses, Flippinar for this week. So I see questions are already being loaded on Instagram. So that's what's happening on Instagram. On Facebook, I'm assuming we're good here. I'm showing a little connection issue on my side, but we'll roll with it. So, so how's it going, Adrian?
Everything's well. Now this weather has been funky with Tropical Storm Cindy coming through. So I hope everyone's doing well and haven't had any damage or tornadoes in their area. We're good this way though.
Okay. Well, again, we've had a little issue locally here within the Birmingham market. We have a tornado. No one's life was taken. 3 or 4 people were hurt, but it caused a lot of damage in that particular area. So that's always good to hear, because those things you never know when they're going to hit. So again, you can start loading your questions in the chat on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and we're going to get rocking and rolling here. So again, welcome to this week's Flippinar wholesaling houses where your income and credit does not matter. I'm going to answer as many questions as we can possibly get in the allotted time. So we are live right now. When people see this later on, they still think it's live, I guess, but it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. on the West Coast. So we're ready to rock and roll. So hello from Indianapolis, from New York City, from West Virginia, from Atlanta, representing. So let's make this happen. And this week, you're good on your Facebook. Hey, you can see what's going on.
It keeps cycling. It'll play for like a minute and then it'll start swirling. It's not a good connection on Facebook.
Oh, okay. So I'm experiencing the same thing then. Okay. Well, we'll roll with it. Hopefully it'll fix itself or whatever. So so we'll start on So Instagram now, you know, if you scroll, if you're asking questions as they come, I can only see a certain amount of them at a time. So just be aware that, you know, if your question, you posted a question, it probably scrolled through if there's a couple of them after you. So someone's asked on Instagram, I can't see the handle, but how's the market in Alabama? The market is good, man. As long as people have just life issues, you'll be able to do deals. You just need to let them know that you exist, just to answer your question. All right. Someone said they love the shows. We really appreciate you showing up. As long as you all show up, we'll keep trying to do them. So again, we are live on this week's Flippinar Wholesaling Houses. Where your income and credit doesn't matter. The purpose of this Flippinar is just to simply answer questions, you know, to get your questions answered. So I'm ready to rock and roll, ladies. Let's rock.
All right, we're going to start with a question on YouTube from Justin Maurice. He asks, what should be my first step towards my first wholesale deal?
Well, your first step towards a wholesale deal, obviously, you want to educate yourself. You want to know what you're doing. That's key with anything. It's very important to sound like you know what you're talking about, if nothing else. But assuming that you know, you have a good understanding of the process, then it's all about, for me, is getting interaction with sellers. I normally say get your phone ring with sellers. Sometimes you have to reach out to them, depending on what you have to work with. But talking to sellers on a daily basis is your goal. Every day you wake up in the morning as a wholesaler is to interact with sellers to see if they're interested in sellers. It's a numbers game. Understand this business is not easy. It's not easy, but you can make it a very simple process by understanding if I'm talking to a certain number of sellers on a daily basis, I'm going to make money. You know, just the numbers will simply take over. All right. So I'm going to answer a question on Instagram. He's posted it a couple of times. Hopefully I can read it here. I have over 100, I have 250 bandage signs out, but I'm only getting one call a week. I'm using the zip ties method. Any tips? Wow, out of those 250 signs that are up from Instagram, how many of those are still up, do you think, since you put them out? That's important. What city are you in also would make a difference. And I can probably provide a tip for you. So what else we got, Adrian?
Okay, let's go back to YouTube. We have lifelong student asks, hey Flipman, if you are doing a back-to-back transaction on a flip, if your buyer is not an investor but a consumer, how do you explain that the title is not in your name?
Well, so you're saying someone that needs financing to buy the house? You're going to have to explain how you're going to get paid, because the lender, they're not going to allow you to wholesale it like you will with a cash buyer. So you're missing something in that equation that needs to be answered. Back to Instagram right quick, Adrian. He said he has about 200 signs that are still up in Greensboro, North Carolina. Man, that's a lot of signs up, and you're not getting but one call a week. What do your signs say? You know, let's go there first. What do they say? All right, next question, Adrian.
Okay, sticking with YouTube, Sydney A asks, if I sign up for coaching, what will I get that I can't already get with the 200 plus videos?
Great question. If you're not looking for coaching, really nothing. I added a different option yesterday that's not going to be available for free on YouTube, but there are a couple of things. But for the most part, you know, I make no bones about it. The 200 plus free videos are there for anyone to take advantage of. For some people, that's more than enough, and they run with it. You know, a couple of the more recent interviews I've done were with YouTube subscribers. I've never even talked to them outside of them asking about how much my course cost. But other than that, they went with the videos. Chris in California made $21,500 on his first deal, and I think my guy in Baton Rouge, Lionel, made $12,000 something in a matter of 6 weeks with a combination of 3 deals. So if those videos are enough for you to put deals together, then boom. But if you need a coach and dealing directly with me, then yeah, that's going to cost. Another question on Instagram, though, I'm not sure about the handle, but do I have to get an LLC first to get started? No. As far as getting an LLC, the way I tell people to do it, at some point you need one, but you don't need it to start. You don't need it to start doing deals, because some people don't have the budget to do marketing, an LLC, website, and all this stuff. I suggest getting your phone to ring, do a deal, and then you can choose a lot of things that you want to add on to your business. But to answer your question, no, you don't need an LLC to start, but at some point you should get one. What we got, A?
All right, we got shout outs from Los Angeles, Baton Rouge, Jacksonville, Florida, and Oakland, California. Welcome, guys. But JoJo on YouTube says, where can I buy a buyer's list?
Well, if you're going to ask me that, obviously I promote that through privatemoneylist what is it, .com or .net? .net, privatemoneylist.net. Along with that private money list, you'll get a list of buyers also. So privatemoneylist.net will give you that option. Just wanted to mention the video that I sent out, I think it was yesterday, on finding motivated sellers' phone numbers, just to get a quick plug in. Findsellers.net or findowners.net. You can get more information about that particular mini course that I'm offering. If you're a student, all you have to do is just log back into the houses course, and it'll be module number 10, the way it sits right now.
Okay. Returning back to Lifelong's question, he had it about the initial question about the title, and he said that possibly the closing attorney would explain that. But he asked also, when you flip, does the transaction become public record?
Yes, the transaction is going to be public record, because it's an actual transaction. It has to be recorded. The deed has changed hands, so all of that information is provided. Now, as far as an assignment fee, that wouldn't be a part of public record, but as far as the transaction itself, yes.
All right. Newark, New Jersey, Larry Lamar says, thank you, Ty. You're going to make me rich. He's watched all 200 plus videos religiously.
Boom. That's what happened.
Okay. Ishmael Lazada, in Philly, the bandit signs are discouraged. You could be fined so many times. So what are the forms are there to get customers when bandit signs are not an option?
What city?
Philly.
I know bandit signs are being used in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So there are laws on the books. I don't care what city, state, or county you're in against bandit signs. And the way it works in most markets, you can get away with it in the hood, maybe a little higher. I'm just using that term, not to be derogatory or anything, but you can get away with it in those areas. In the suburban areas, you can't. That's the way most markets work. So if you see them, you place them where other signs exist. But to answer your question, if you don't want to do bandit signs, you can do direct mail, which is more expensive. You need to be a little bit more patient. Obviously, you can do some stuff online as far as targeting for sale properties and for rent properties. As I just mentioned, I just created a course yesterday, just finding motivated sellers phone numbers, findsellers.net or findowners.net. So there are other methods besides bandit signs. I'm just telling you it's the best method, in my opinion, as far as how efficient you can be with them if you know what you're doing because of the cost and the results that they'll produce. Just answer a question from Instagram. What are the best properties to look at as a beginner, vacant, foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, etc.? Well, when you say look at, it's not really targeting a particular type of property, but in my opinion, it's all about marketing and whatever comes your way. If a deal there is to be had and you know what you're doing, you make the deal happen. So targeting a particular type of property, I don't look at it that way. I guess it could be looked at that way, but it's more about doing an effective job of either marketing or research and reaching out, being proactive and reaching out to sellers, and the numbers just take over. You're going to run into motivated sellers. It's really not the type of property, it's the type of seller which is motivated, in my opinion. There's a lot of ways to do this, but that's my opinion. And all of those will fall under that umbrella in some form or fashion if you do it long enough. So it's not really a particular type of property, but a particular type of owner, because that's where the deal is going to be made in negotiations with the owner, if there's equity enough to be for it to happen.
All right, taking a question from Wanda Buena on YouTube. He had a call with the seller of a vacant home today. When he asked him what was the absolute least the owner would take for the house, he wouldn't give a number until he would give him a best offer. For this case scenario, is your best approach still to just give him a ridiculous low number, or do you have a different way to handle this type of seller?
So he basically saying the seller won't give an offer a price? Mute me.
The seller won't give him a ballpark price of what he wants for his property. Right?
He will not?
Will not.
Okay. You need to mute me. If he will not give you an offer, then it boils back down to, what I said. There's no tricks to the trade. There's no magic wand that I'm waving. You have to offer something in really low, because that's what it's going to take anyway in a lot of cases. Your objective is obviously to do deals, but your objective when you're negotiating with a seller is for them to give you their lowest amount. If you feel comfortable that they've given you that lowest amount, and if that amount works for you, you move forward with the contract, going out and viewing the property or whatever. But if that price does not work for you, the way I handle it, I thank them for their time, let them know if anything changes, please give me a call back. It's really that simple. If they won't give you a price, then you have to pull a price out of them. Either they'll get pissed enough, they hang up on you. There wasn't going to be a deal there anyway. Guys, the only way this stuff works is that you have control. You have to, even if you don't have $1 in the bank, you have to act like or feel like, or the mentality that you need is that, hey, I got 10 million in the bank. I don't care if you do this deal or not. It's too many people out there that will. Most won't, but enough will. Most won't, but enough will. Let me read a question from Instagram. I think somebody I skipped, you got passed over, so you may have to repost. I don't know what their name is, but the one that I can see is getting the first deal the hardest part? After the first deal, does it seem to be a little more easy? Well, I can't really say getting the first deal is the hardest part because it comes fast for some people. Whereas I basically did a deal in 30 days, so it really wasn't hard. The hardest part, I would say, for most people, whether it's within 30 days, 2 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years, is once you get that first check, you realize that it's real. I can talk to them pink in the face, which is probably impossible. But until you get that actual first check in your hand, you don't know that it's really real, unless you know somebody that's doing it and you can see them actually making the money. That's a little different. But the first deal may not be the hard for a lot of people. It is. I'm gonna say this: a lot of people it is, but for some people it isn't. That first deal comes really fast. I trained some ladies here locally some years back, and they did a deal in 2 weeks. The lady on 2 houses. The houses were across the street from one of them. They were partnered on the deal, and she knew the owner, called him, and he gave a price that worked. Closed it in 2 weeks. So it wasn't that difficult for them. All right, let me read another one from Instagram. Could I go to estate sales to find sellers? I know it will be, I would offend some people, but is it approach correct? Oh yeah, people do that. You know, if you're gator like that, most definitely, because that normally means a property is about to be sold in most cases, and sometimes there's some opportunity there. So yes. What we got?
Solomon Green on YouTube asks, how can you tell a buyer from a wholesaler who's just trying to up the price you have for a house?
In most cases, you can just, for me, it's really simple, because wholesalers talk in terms, they don't want to put up any earnest money, which is fine. And they normally say 30 days. Whereas most cash buyers, they just don't talk like that. You know, earnest money is not an issue, whether it's $500, $1,000, or $2,500. They might not put it in your hand, but normally it's not an issue. And normally they're just going to simply say, as soon as we can get a clear title. Wholesalers are normally not going to talk like that. So you can distinguish them very easily. Now, it's okay to work with wholesalers, but at the end of the day, you still have to control the entire situation, as far as how you want to allow them to position themselves to get paid and so on. Normally, I'm just going to do another contract with them, but I'm only going to give them just a very short period of time, no different than if they are a buyer. I'm going to treat them like they're cash buyers for the time that I'm going to give them. And if they don't have earnest money, I'll make a judgment call from there. You know, they got to have somebody ready to go. You know, they just can't deal with me. And let me just say, they just can't deal with me and they don't have a buyer ready to go. So that's the way I handle it. Some people may be a little bit more flexible, but that's the way I handle it.
All right, hottest trending topics question from YouTube. What's the best properties for beginners to search for? Vacant properties, foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, probates. What's the best target property for somebody just starting out?
I just answered that. It wasn't that exact question, but it was, yeah, I just answered that. They need to go back and watch. I'm sorry, I just answered that. Go back to, what time is it? Go back to about 20 minutes into this when the replay goes up, but I just answered that. Just to respond to someone on Instagram, they say, I just got finished watching your videos at work. Oh, thanks for watching. I hope they help. Someone posted another question on Instagram. Do you think Philadelphia is a good market? Man, you're talking about a city, 7-8 million people? Do people die in Philadelphia? Do they lose their jobs? Do they relocate from Philadelphia? Do people get divorced there? Do you think there's some tired landlords there in Philadelphia? Do people get sick, which create medical bills? The answer is yes to all of those. So yes, Philadelphia is a great market. Opportunity, motivated sellers just from life. What you got, A?
All right, question, Michael Watkins. Can I do a wholesale deal without ever seeing the property? Like finding a property out of state, collecting the pictures from the owner, finding a buyer, and just having the check mailed to me.
Meaning that he's not in the same state with the property?
Correct. Not in the same state, never gonna lay an eye on it. Yeah, people do that. You know, you're gonna have some things in place, probably either a realtor helping you to show the property and so on, handle the grunt work there, or someone is going to have to be there to keep the buyer and seller separated, if nothing else, as far as showing, because the buyers are going to want to see the property. So yeah, to answer your question, it can be done. That's virtual wholesaling at its finest. But you're going to have someone there on the ground to help you. Someone from Instagram just asked a question.
Do I come straight out and tell the buyer and seller that I'm a wholesaler or so, or do I tell them my partner that's going on to buy the property? Now, with a seller, you're a cash buyer. Doesn't matter where the cash comes from, because even with some cash buyer, they use hard money, so that's not their money, but they're paying cash, so it doesn't matter. So the seller, they really don't care. Number one, then trying to explain wholesaling to them, just like you're trying to learn, and you spend hours trying to learn and still have questions. Imagine trying to explain this to a seller in 5 minutes. So it's really not important to do that, because at the end of the day, you can perform or you can't. So to answer your question, no. If a buyer asks you about wholesaling, then yeah, they can ask you. And I mean, you can tell them, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. They're going to find out anyway once they get hit with the assignment fee. What we got, A?
All right, more on YouTube. It says he's working on his first deal and found out that the seller is delinquent on the taxes. Is this a cost that I will have to incur?
Well, normally sellers understand that the taxes will, any taxes, mortgages, or liens come out of their proceeds. So if the taxes are, we'll say $3,000, and they're selling you the house for 50, that means they'll get 47,000 instead of 50. They understand that. But I have paid some taxes before. It's all negotiable, but normally it comes out of the seller proceeds. Just to hit Instagram back up again, said, do you think it's better to learn your own? Do you think it's better to learn your own market or consider virtual wholesaling? Well, you can make money doing both. But what I think is easier is in your home market, because you're familiar with it, and then it's easier to pick up money in your outside of your door versus someone else's door. It's just, the same thing with this. You can do that eventually, do some deals in your market, unless you're in just a very small town. Other than that, familiarity, it goes a long way with negotiations and understanding what may be a deal or not, because you can get really confused on just by crossing a particular main thorough. You'll see comps and just in a particular market. If you're not familiar with that market, the prices may be 50,000 on one side of a main street, and on the other side of the street, they may be 500,000. But those comps could get mixed, and you can get, you won't understand. You may not be able to understand or be able to distinguish the difference. But if you live there, that. You'll know that. So, but you can do both. But to answer your question, is always, in my opinion, easier to start in your own market versus somewhere else. And then keeping the seller and the buyer part, that's a huge part of it, guys. Because you can get ran around in that way. So you can do that a lot easier when you can actually show up at the property if that's necessary to do that. Oh, we got A.
Okay, I think our viewers on Facebook still might be having difficulty seeing, so maybe they can catch the video on YouTube a little later. But on YouTube, we have a question from David, and there's quite a few. But he said he noticed your one-page contract doesn't include an escape clause. Is one needed? And then someone asked him the contract we used in Los Angeles. So.
Well, to answer his question, it's quote unquote an escape clause. It's paragraph number 10. Read that. That's quote unquote the escape clause. But in reality, that's what your earnest money is for. If you don't close, they keep it. That's it. That settles the deal. Now, you could be sued for anything. That doesn't mean they have legitimate ground. You can't prevent someone from suing you. Okay, but as far as in LA, yeah, it can be used. Go back and watch the video with Chris in California, 21,500. He's out there in that part of California. So yeah, it's just a simple contract. You're buying the property as is. Cash is being used to purchase, so you don't have to use a 10 or 12-page contract that a realtor will whip out. That contract, has worked all over the country. So yes, it'll work in Los Angeles, California. So what we got on you? Let me see what we got on you on Instagram. So I'm 19 years old. Does age matter when you're wholesaling? No, you're good, man. Make it happen. Make it happen.
That's funny that you mentioned that. We have a viewer on YouTube who said they're 16 and they want to get started. So hey, make that money. We do have a question. What days of the week are best to put up bandit signs?
If you have to pick, I do them any day of the week, and I hate that we're not on our Facebook or whatever. I don't know what happened there, but that's cool. But any day of the week, I put them out. But if you're going to choose the best days, Sunday morning will be number one. Saturday morning will be number two. I never put them up at night. I see people that they put them up at night and all this. I've done that once. You know, it was 14 years ago. I've done that once.
All right. I'd say it's no deal, but I'll let you answer that. Gerald Dillworth on YouTube says, hello, Ty. How do I respond to a seller where the house is going to be auctioned on July 7th, and I found out he's not even the owner? After repair value is $95,000 and he wants $75,000.
Nothing. If he's not even the owner, then you don't have anything from the start. But if the all property is going to be auctioned in that short of a time frame, he said the after repair value is 95.
Correct.
And he's trying to sell it for 75. No, he won't be able to sell that property. You know, maybe if it was 95 and he was trying to get rid of it at 45, yeah, he may be able to work out something with the lender or whatever to close on it. But no, but with just that price, it's not a deal anyway. Question from Instagram. Let me do one from Instagram. Do you believe in bandit signs more than yellow letters? No question about it. Bandit signs can reach thousands of people for a couple of $100. To reach thousands of people with yellow letters, you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars. So no question about it. Now, understand now bandit signs are more of a shotgun approach. Both of them are shotgun approaches. Bandit signs has a wider shotgun, whereas yellow letters are a little closer to a rifle. But both of them are shotgun approaches. It's just that bandit signs can kill a lot more people for a lot less money, which is, you know, the name of the game. When I say kill, I mean deals. But both work.
Okay, let's go and take a question from YouTube. It's KBK Investments, and he says, hey, Ty, it's Roy again. He says he has 9 contracts right now. I'm about to close on one tomorrow. But just in this past week, it seems as though our calls have slowed down. He's trying to get rid of the contracts. He says his partners and him advertise through Facebook and Craigslist. Do you have any other suggestions on ways to market the properties?
Well, those other 8, if you're marketing them that heavily, Facebook, and you said Craigslist too?
That's right, Craigslist.
All right. If you're doing that and you're not getting any action on your market is telling you they're not cheap enough in most cases. Now, the other thing that you could do, bandit signs, handwritten bandit signs in the areas where the houses are located, about 15 to 20 for each house, unless they're all within the same area or a couple of them are in the same, whatever the situation is. Those work really well also, because investors that frequent those areas, they will see those. If it's a price that's attractive, they're going to call you. Now, whenever you do that, you're going to get all types of calls. You're going to get calls from people, hey, do you all want to rent a house? Do you have houses for rent? Do you need anybody doing a carpentry work, painter, or clean house? You're going to get all types of calls. It's going to bring those type of calls, but your main objective is to find a cash buyer. So handwritten bandit signs, make sure you do them correctly, using the right marker, making sure you use a marker that has a wide tip. You know, that's very important. I would always like to use white with red and blue if I can find it, but definitely red and black. You can find both of those colors. Michael's Arts and Crafts store, if you're in a market that have those, normally you can get those, but at that particular store is normally the only place I can find the red. You can find black anywhere, but the red is what I like to use also.
All right, Ty, now would be a good time. We've got quite a few viewers on YouTube. Direct them to where they can find our videos. I have questions about what color is the best sign for bandit signs, how to put them up, somewhere they can find this information.
Well, yeah, if you're not familiar with me, this first time coming on the Flippinar, welcome. And those that are here every week, definitely welcome. But you know, we have 200 plus videos on my YouTube channel. All these questions that I'm answering right now probably already have been answered in those videos. But you know, I do the live Flippinars because it allows me to interact with people that believe in what I have to say. So flipman.net, you can access the 200 plus videos, or you can just simply go to YouTube and do a search for the Flip Man. You should be able to locate my channel. Yesterday I uploaded a new option as far as to get more deals, find motivated sellers' phone numbers, because and I know the guy was just asking me the difference in yellow letters and bandit signs. But if you can get a seller on the phone, no matter what the method is, that's always going to increase your chances of doing deals. So findsellers.net, findowners.net, you can access that information. And if you want to sign up, you'll see what the pricing is there. So what we got, A?
Okay. Young Saife 63 wants to know, at what point do you present the one-page contract to the seller?
So at what point do I present the contract to the seller? Okay. Normally after this is my process. Someone calls me, I call in whatever situation. All right, over the phone, if I'm normally not going to go out and look at a property unless the price works over the phone, normally. All right, so assuming that the price works over the phone, I go out and video the property and view it. All right, everything checks out. And then whenever I used to take the contract out there with me, but now I'll email it over to you. It's rare that people don't have email. It's rare. So I'll email, call, print it, professional look, so I don't write it out. But it's fine if you write everything in, that's fine also. But I type everything in, send it over with my, electronic signature. And they get it back to my, sometimes I have to go pick it up because they may not know how to scan and put it back in the email. They might know how to use an e-signature. So it's presented after I went out and viewed the property. Now you can take the contract out there with you. That's fine also. It's just that I just go ahead and send the email after I viewed the property and get back to my laptop.
Okay. Off-roader wants to know, is it normal to get a lot of calls but no deals?
So what now?
Is it normal to get a lot of calls but no deals?
Over what time period? I guess is the question, because if you're getting calls, you should feel great. It's just a matter of time. Now, even if you're not that good of a negotiator, it's still just a matter of time. And I don't think I'm that great of a negotiator. I just know if I talk to enough people and, I'll pose the question and get it out there, hey, what I will pay for a particular area or whatever. And that works a lot of times. But if you're getting a lot of calls, you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. You may need to tighten up your negotiation skills a little bit, but if you're getting a lot of calls, you're ahead of the game. There's no question about that.
Candy wants to know, do you think people should skip trace if they have the owner's address and subject property address, or direct mail them?
If you can find a phone number, that's the course that I uploaded yesterday that I made available, findsellers.net or findowners.net. If you could call them, you're always going to execute that option first. On Instagram, someone posted a long question. You're gonna have to repost that if other people have followed behind you. Someone says, no clue on how to find repair costs. Well, I have a video on YouTube that you can access. I'm Black White on Instagram. Just simply go to YouTube and do estimating repair costs for wholesaling houses, and you should see one of my videos. So it'll go into detail on that. Someone asking the question, which I answered earlier, do you need an LLC to write a contract? No. You can go back to earlier in this particular Flippinar when the replay is up on YouTube to get the full answer. But to answer your question, no. So what we got, Abe?
Is there a contract that locks a buyer into a deal? It's from Brian Druitt. I think maybe you can't force anybody to buy anything. So, but I guess just like he gives earnest money, maybe is guaranteed to get that at least.
Well, that's the purpose of your contract. Contract with earnest money. You said his name was Brian. Yeah, that's the purpose of it. Now, sometimes buyers are back out, and that's rarely happened to me, but it's happened. But you know, it happens. You just know there's not going to be a way to prevent that from ever happening. But for the most part, once you do this long enough, you'll know the real from fake very easily.
Okay, let's see here. Twiceland says, is there somewhere I can find a list of questions that you must ask potential sellers?
Yes, to answer your question, just go to YouTube and do a search for top 10 questions to ask sellers for wholesaling houses. And I have a video on that.
Okay, and sticking with YouTube, because we're still having issues with Facebook, and I'm sorry if you can't hear me. Someone's asking me to turn my mic up, David, and I'll try to speak a little louder. Dorian Wright wants to know, do I need a website and business cards to get started?
I would, well, if you have the budget for it, yes. But if you have to choose between getting your phone to ring with banner signs or direct mail or whatever method, then you can put those on the back burner. See, the thing about a website, it's expensive to get people to come to your site, right? So that's something that all businesses need. You're fooling yourself if you don't. It's been like that way for a while, obviously. But you still have to do something. I mean, you're spending money to get people to come to your site, unless you're just a SEO genius. And then obviously we're having a whole different conversation here. SEO means search engine optimization. So just for you all know, meaning how do you get to the top of Google for if someone searches buy my house? If you can figure out that, then we're having a whole different conversation. You need to text me. I'll call me. Better yet, call me.
I asked the question. So who do you want the Lakers to take tonight?
Oh, what time is it? Is it on yet? Oh man.
I'm not sure.
Hold on, wait.
From WebR on YouTube.
Oh, it started.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Oh, they hadn't started taking pics yet. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm that ignorant. But good question. I want the Lakers to take ball. It's a no-brainer. Okay, the first pick.
Okay, strawberries and candy. You said I missed your question. I did ask your question just probably 2 questions before, so you might have to rewind and catch that. Danny B on YouTube says he found an owner of a vacant house. The owner is the grantor and grantee on property tax assessor site for the county. Does that mean they've been foreclosed on? I don't know if he found the owner. Oh, they're listed as the grantor on the tax assessor site. So have they been foreclosed?
Who's listed as the grantor?
The actual owner.
To who? Who is the grantee?
It doesn't say. Owner is grantor and grantee. They're actually both. They're listed as both.
Well, if I'm understanding the question correctly, it appears that person still owns the property. So, that's what it appears. So if you can get in contact with them, call them, they'll let you know what the situation is.
Okay. Ty, how did you get involved with commercial real estate?
Whenever I wholesale my first apartment building, I realized that was a different ball game. And someone called me from a bandit sign wanting to sell I think it was an 8-unit building. And maybe been more units than that, but that got me to looking into it from that point.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get into our math question of the night. There's always that one. Let's get to it. Let's see here. If you have a home after repair value is $200,000, how much would you try to get it for?
Well, without knowing repairs, we're going to try to start in the low hundreds, off the top. It would be ideal to answer the question. When I say low hundreds, like 100, 105, 110, something like that. So, but the repairs do matter. If it's in pretty good condition, we'll just say maybe 10 grand in repairs to get it in excellent condition. Then, maybe 120 would be a max on that.
All right, next one, Kim Harris on YouTube. I have a property contract for $68,000 after repair value is about 102. There are no repairs needed, but it's in the hood. Should I try to get it lower?
Well, what was the price?
$68K is what it's under contract for, and the after repair value is 102.
Yeah, you want to get that a little lower. You want to get that if you can, that'll be 70. You probably want to get that definitely in the 30s if possible. 40s may work, but 30s if possible.
Okay. Maisha Chambers on YouTube says she's in a high-end market where most distressed vacant properties are being sold at retail. What creative ways can she wholesale there?
It's all about still no different than if you're a high end, a low end, or wherever. It's still about letting sellers know you exist and just letting life take over. What I mean by that, again, do people die there? People lose their jobs? Do people have medical issues, which creates large medical bills? Kids going off to college, tired landlords, all of that's still the same thing. That's what it boils down to. If you're just sitting around the sideline just watching, it'll appear that everything is selling at the higher end, but that's not going to always be the case because of the level of motivation that a seller may have to sell quickly. And that means cash, which means you have to have a cash price.
All right, Kilo wants to know, do you feel having a vanity number gets better marketing results than using a local number?
I've done the vanity number just recently, and the local number just works better. Spent a lot of money on the vanity number, and the local number just works better. It dwarfs the number of calls that a vanity number receives.
All right, Eddie Williams on YouTube says, a lot of gurus go around the country and do seminars. Do you do that? If so, what tour dates do you have coming up?
Man, I wouldn't even know how to do that. People have talked to me about it, but it would have to be a situation where, well, I'll just put it, it would have to be a unique situation for me to do something like that, because the people that approached me about it, they wanted me to work on it with them. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I do this or whatever, more of a hobby, fortunate enough to make a little money off of it. But, I do deals for a living. So, but again, I'm open to a check. Somebody think what I have to say is valuable enough to set me up around the country at different places. I would show up, but it would still have to be very beneficial to me financially up front for me to even do something like that, because I'm such, speaking to you all, just sitting there by myself, you know what I'm saying? It's really like I'm only just talking to Adrian. I guess that's really what I'm doing. But me standing up in front of a crowd, I've never done anything like that. I don't get up in church or nothing or at family functions and say stuff. Everybody else that say stuff and I probably should say something. And, my mom will look at me, like, what you gonna say? Nothing. That's just not me. You know what I'm saying? But Hey, I can be, you know, I can suck it up, you know, if need be or whatever. I can make it happen if the as John Witherspoon would say, if the paper, if it was enough paper, you know. So no, I don't have any dates scheduled, my man.
All right. Let's see here. Corvette 8 says, how's direct mailing working out for you, Mr. Flipman? Do you target absentee owners? Thanks.
Yeah, that's what, as I've mentioned 2 other times already, that's what FindSellers.net and FindOwners.net are basically focusing on, is taking direct mail lists and being able to produce phone numbers for them also. But to answer your question, I don't do as much as I should with direct mail. But yeah, I've had a lot of success with it, but I don't do enough of it as I should. I'm trying to put some things in place to try to not be such a one-man gang, you know. Okay, they took him. One-man gang, and you know, because I'm leaving a lot of deals on the table or whatever. Okay.
Okay, let's see here. New Life says he closed his first deal this week. So we'll try to give a shout out to those who are doing things.
How much did you make, baby? How much did he make?
Tell us the details, New Life. Jody Ross has a house under contract for $12,000. That sounds good. The after repair value is $43,000, and the repairs are $10,000. So 22 and 43. Is that a good deal?
All right, 22 and 43. 43 is the ARV.
Correct. The ARV.
And the price is 22.
Well, he has it under contract for 12.
Oh.
But it needs 10,000 in repair.
Oh, okay. You may have a chance on that. It's gonna be tough, but you may have a chance to make a couple of grand on that. You know, it's gonna be tough.
Okay. You got any questions on Instagram?
No, I don't have anything. Instagram probably about to end, but we're about to end here anyway. So, but no, I don't have anything on Instagram. We can keep rolling. I hate Facebook is down tonight. I really hate it, but we'll try to. I don't think it's on our end because you were having issues also, right, Adrian? Okay.
Yeah, I can't see Facebook at all. It's a steel screen right now.
Okay.
Tony asked, and I'm sure it's been several, and I know there's a video on it, but he wants to know, where do you get bandit signs from?
DirtCheapSigns.com. You want to call and speak to either Curtis and or Christina. Let them know I sent you. They'll give you I think it's 5%, which is not a lot, but that'll add up over time. That'll take care of some of your shipping costs or whatever. But so DirtCheapSigns.com. It's best to call. Their phone number is on the website, to call and speak to Curtis or Christina. Just let them know I referred you, and they'll give you that little taste back.
All right, guys, and there's a video on how to hang them, what colors to get, what to put on them, all of that. So make sure you scroll through those 200 plus YouTube videos for pretty much any other question you have in regards to bandit signs. Let's see here. Scrolling back up, and I think we're trying not to duplicate questions because y'all get my head chewed off.
Hey, let me answer this one on Instagram. If you haven't already answered this question already, how do you get the phone info of owners on abandoned property owners? Well, you just some skip tracing. In reality, first thing you want to do is always Google someone's name with the address, the mailing address that it shows for them, and that'll produce a lot. But again, thanks for asking the question. I just uploaded a course on yesterday, a mini course, FindSellers.net, FindOwners.net.
Like, can I have $1 for every time you said that? Just $1.
Check is in the mail. Check is in the mail.
Nicole Anthony asked, She says, my daughter lives in Florida and I live in Minnesota. Could I talk to the seller's buyers and she could have the seller sign the paperwork? Like she does all the talking and sends her daughter to get the signatures.
You mean, does she mean the houses in Florida where her daughter lives?
Right, the houses are in Florida where her daughter lives.
Yeah, most definitely. That's where virtual wholesaling can really work, when you got someone on the other end to help you. And you know, it's a different ball game. Now you can probably bring in a wholesaler, you know, but then you have to build some level of trust with them to be able to make that work. A wholesaler in that market is what I mean.
Okay, a question we have, Hottest Trending Topic wants to know, is there a way to find out who is buying properties that have flipped multiple deals in a matter of months? Like, say for instance, if there's another wholesaler in the area, is there a way to find out without going to the wholesaler who's buying their properties?
I don't understand that. Say that again.
How do I find out who is buying properties that have flipped multiple deals in a matter of months?
Oh, well, it depends on what area you're talking about. And then it also depends on how fast that information becomes a public through whatever county that you're dealing in. So once you figure that out, you can go to, well, there's a way you can go to Zillow and you can see what houses are sold for within the last whatever number of days, 96 months, 12 months, and so on. And so, again, it just depends on the area, and it depends on how fast the county makes that public information. Once you get that information, then you can target some of those by phone, obviously, but probably most of them by mail. Recently sold.
Going back to New Life, who we gave a shout out to earlier for making his first deal this week. He said he made $5,000 on the deal. It took a week. That's the most he's ever made in a week. And let's say I only worked about 4 hours, so that's $5K.
So that's about $12.50 an hour, if my math is correct. $1,250 an hour. That's attorney type money. Okay, so we're going to end this up tonight. We're at an hour. We had some technical difficulties. We'll try to get those worked out next week. Facebook was down altogether. I think it may be still running, but I don't think it is. So, but again, we appreciate everyone showing up this week. Remember, findsellers.net, findowners.net. If you need to find the phone numbers of motivated sellers, I have a method in place to help you with that. Also, remember the 200 plus videos I have on YouTube, and you can go to my Facebook page, flipman.net. And again, share this video. You can make comments on this particular video. Once it goes live, I normally respond to my comments within a timely fashion. So again, we really appreciate everyone showing up, especially you, Adria, even though we have a few tech issues. We'll get them ironed out. You know, I guess that's what a new laptop should do. So we'll work on that for next week if need be. All right. So hey, stick around a second. We'll need to handle something here. So again, we'll see y'all next week, and as I always say, we'll see you on the flip side.